Mastering the art of first impressions. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a room, met someone for the first time, and within seconds you just knew how you felt about them? Maybe you thought, wow, I really like this person. Or maybe you had an instinct to keep your distance. What's wild is how fast it happens, sometimes in as little as 7 seconds. Think about that, 7 seconds. That's all it takes for someone to form an opinion about you. But here's the kicker. What they decide in those 7 seconds, it can shape how they see you for days, months, even years to come. And it's not just in your personal life. This happens in job interviews, business meetings, even social media interactions. Now, here's the great news. You have the power to influence those first impressions. You're not just a passenger on this ride, you're in the driver's seat. So, let's dive deep into why first impressions matter so much and how you can use psychology to master them. Let's start with the science. Why are first impressions so powerful? It's all about the brain. You see, our brains are wired to make quick judgments, snap decisions, based on the information we have in the moment. It's a survival mechanism, a leftover from when our ancestors needed to figure out if someone was friend or foe, helper or threat. For example, let's say you meet someone who avoids eye contact, speaks quietly, and seems fidgety. Without even thinking about it, your brain might label them as nervous or untrustworthy. On the flip side, if someone greets you with a confident handshake, a warm smile, and clear, engaging conversation, your brain automatically gives them a positive label: trustworthy, charismatic, or strong. Now here's the kicker. Those snap judgments often stick. Why? Because of something called the halo effect. If the first impression is positive, you're more likely to overlook their flaws or assume they're great at other things. If it's negative, the opposite happens. And this is why understanding how to make a great first impression is such a powerful tool. It helps you take control of how people perceive you. The first key to a killer first impression is presence. You know when someone walks into a room, and before they even speak, they command attention? That's presence. And trust me, it's not something you're born with. It's something you can cultivate. Presence starts with your physiology. Think about how you carry yourself. If you slouch, avoid eye contact, or shuffle your feet, what message are you sending? That you're uncertain, unconfident, maybe even disengaged. But if you stand tall, shoulders back, chin up, and you own your space, you're telling the world, I'm here, I belong, I'm ready. Here's an example. Imagine you're at a networking event. You see 2 people across the room. One is leaning against the wall, looking down at their phone, while the other is standing tall, making eye contact and smiling at people as they walk by. Who are you more likely to approach? It's a no-brainer, right? Presence isn't just about you. It's about how you make others feel when they're around you. Let's talk about a tool that's so simple, it's often overlooked: your smile. A genuine smile is like a universal welcome sign. It breaks down barriers and makes people feel at ease. But here's what's fascinating. A smile isn't just something you do for others. It's also something you do for yourself. When you smile, your brain releases a cocktail of chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, that make you feel good. It's like your brain saying, hey, you're doing great. And the crazy part? It's contagious. When you smile at someone, their brain reacts too, releasing those same feel-good chemicals. Take this real-life example. A few years ago, I met a guy who walked into every room with a serious, almost intimidating expression. He thought it made him look professional, but people often avoided him because they perceived him as unapproachable. The moment he started adding a smile to his introduction, just that one little tweak, his relationships transformed. He was still professional, but now he was engaging. That's the power of a smile. Most people think making a great first impression is about what you say. But let me tell you, the real magic is in what you hear. When you genuinely listen to someone, you're giving them a gift. You're saying, I see you. You matter. And trust me, people don't forget that. Here's how you can master the art of listening. First, put away distractions. That means no phones, no wandering eyes. Next, use your body language. Nod, lean in, make eye contact to show you're engaged. And most importantly, resist the urge to talk about yourself right away. Stop focusing on what you're going to say next. Focus on what they're saying now. Let's talk about something that's often misunderstood: how you present yourself. Now, I'm not saying you need to wear expensive suits or designer clothes, but the way you dress sends a message, whether you realize it or not. When you show up looking put together, you're saying, I respect myself, and I respect this interaction. That respect is magnetic. It draws people to you. It's about being intentional. Are your clothes clean, neat, and appropriate for the situation? Do they reflect your personality while showing that you care? Think about a job interview. If you walk in wearing something sloppy, even if your resume is gold, what impression are you giving? But if you walk in looking polished and confident, you're already telling them, I'm someone who takes this seriously. And that impression sticks. Here's what it all boils down to. People won't remember every word you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Did you make them feel valued? Did you inspire them? Did you leave them with a sense of connection or hope? The secret is to focus on service. When you walk into an interaction asking, how can I add value here? How can I make this person's day better? You elevate the experience for everyone involved. For example, I once met someone who made me feel like I was the only person in the room, even though we were surrounded by a crowd. They asked thoughtful questions, listened deeply, and gave me their full attention. I don't remember every detail of what we talked about, but I do remember walking away feeling valued, and that's the impression you want to leave. So here's the bottom line. Your first impression isn't just about that initial moment. It's about creating a legacy. It's about showing up as your best self with confidence, presence, and authenticity. This isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about owning who you are and letting that shine through. When you show up with intention, when you smile, when you listen, and when you care enough to leave someone feeling better than they did before they met you, that's when you master the art of first impressions. So the next time you walk into a room, don't just enter, own it. Show the world who you are. And trust me, they'll remember you long after you've walked away.